Hey guys, what's up? It's me, John. I haven't made a video in a while, and I'm sorry about that. I apologize, I couldn't resist. So, one of the things that I've been asked a lot is how to make a movie. And there's just some people who genuinely don't understand how to make a movie. And to resolve that issue, I thought maybe it would be a good idea for me to make a video about how to make a movie. Well, when you open one up, it's going to create a scene for you. This is the first scene that it's going to create, and it's going to be right here. This is where your little log of scenes is. So you can add and remove as many scenes as you want. Well, let me rephrase that. You can add 10 scenes maximum and 1 scene minimum. See, once you get to the 10 scene, maximum 10 scenes are allowed in a movie. So, let's delete a bunch of these and just focus on the first scene. First scene is what most people usually focus on, and then they don't create another scene. If you're making an SM, the first scene is always the one scene that you use, and they usually go for about the first 10 seconds. These are frames. Each number has 2 seconds to it, so 5 frames is 10 seconds. And you can have a scene last up to a full minute. You can also remove frames from here, as well as add them. You can't remove them from the bottom down here. Let's add some people. We'll add whoever's online. We're gonna do a normal school scene. There's people standing here. When you drag them, you click, you hold, and you move. And sometimes if you're having them move in tiny little spots, or not very much at all, this little thing that says click to set what the movie star is doing in this step, sometimes that will stay on the screen. An easy fix for that is just save the movie and then relog, because when you come back it won't be there anymore. But it's some visual glitch. I don't know why they still have it in there. They should have fixed it by now. So when you click a character, you got 3 buttons that show up. Facial express. Let me use one who's not wearing a mask. Facial expression: happy, angry, sad, surprised, and neutral. Select animation. You can use any animation that they have, and here's a trick that most people don't know how to use. Is, let's say I want my character to use the cake surprise, but I can't because I don't have it. What you want to do is, while you have this up, click and drag the character into the little category you have here. Do not let go of it, or else this thing will disappear. And then click the animation. Ta-da! See, it stayed there. The only bad thing that I have to say about this is that it used to be that if you just, clicked on their arm or something, this wouldn't go away. So you wouldn't have to actually, move this character in order to get an animation. But now you do, so let's say you have her over here, and you decide that you want her to suddenly be doing this animation. They keep popping up. Well, because she's moved, watch what happens. Oh, apparently I did that very well there. Well, usually, when you have the character move, they will end up doing something like this. Let's say I was trying to put her in the same spot and I didn't exactly do it perfectly where I wanted it. The character moves, whether you want them to or not. Let's go to a new scene and fix all this, and we're going to put everyone on this side because I don't feel like relogging to get rid of those. So, dialogue. You can choose any of these little speech bubbles. Let's choose a normal speech bubble. I can have my character say, "Hi, welcome to school." And speech bubbles last for 2 frames, which is 4 seconds. And sometimes, if it's glitching, it'll have this version of whatever speech bubble you had over here pop up. Luckily, they don't always do that. I find that really annoying because I don't want them to do that. So let's finish with that. This character is walking over at this point. One thing I need to mention when it comes to the walking animation, because this took me a while to figure out. if you want them to walk in a certain scene and end up somewhere in another scene, what you don't want to do is have them be walking in the scene that you want them to already be there. For example, let's say I want her to be standing here at this scene. Well, if I do that, which is what you need to do, if you want her to be standing there at that scene, you want to drag her there at that scene. So she'll be walking the scene before it. You don't want to have her walking over here on the scene that you think she should already be there, because then she'll be walking on the scene that you want her to already be there. I hope I explained that well. I'll pause the video and redo a voice thing if I didn't explain it very well. So, new scene. Let's restart this. Now that we've gone through all these, which, again, you can use any of these speech bubbles. They work exactly the same. And, if you end up with a speech bubble that's just a copy, like this kind of speech bubble that's a copy of whatever speech bubble you had before it, don't worry, just delete it. It'll be good. It'll be gone. Sometimes it'll pop up again. Just delete it. It'll be gone. Now, this is the add items thing. This always makes me lag a little bit. It's because it loads up a bunch of the pets first. Well, when you want to add an item, I'm going to go ahead and zoom past that so it'll stop. You can add up to 20 items in a room for a scene. So let's say you have 2 scenes, and you fill them both with 20 items. That's 40 items in the movie total. Let's say I don't want the items where they are. I'm going to pick it up, I'm going to click and drag it, I'm going to move it where I want them to be. I want this up here for some reason. So let's open up another scene. We've already explained this scene icon, which will be your best friend if you're making a movie. And now we go to the backgrounds. Okay, music. It can make or break a movie. And this doesn't just go for MSP movies, this goes for any kind of video that you will ever watch on YouTube, in the theater, a video game, anything. So, let's say that this is supposed to be a dramatic scene. Let's have them all running away from my character. So let's place them all here. We have to have them facing away from my character. And scene 2, I want them to be a little bit further than they would be if they were walking. Because I'm going to go back to scene 1 where they're moving, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to go to the basic. I'm going to go all the way to the back. And I'm going to select run right here. And I would do that for all of these characters. So by the time they got to here, they would be not running. But if you happen to select the animation that they're doing before you have them be in the position that you want them to be in, like, for example, let's say that I want them running in this scene. Actually, let's move it a little bit further apart. I want them running in scene 4, and I want them to already be there in scene 5. So, let's say I want this character to be running over here. Now, first of all, since she's running in the opposite direction, you want to take her and you want to move her this way. And because she was in the stand animation, the default animation, she's going to be walking. So what you want to do is you want to make her stand again. Unless you have a pose animation or some other animation that you would have, and then she would not be walking, she would be still using that last animation that you gave her. But because she was in the stand animation and you made her turn around, she will begin to walk. And you don't want that because it looks really weird. So now that she's standing over here, well, now that she's over here and you used this animation first before dragging her over, I should have gone on hide, before you selected the animation before you had her stand here. You can go up to there really easily and just fix it by doing the same thing you did when she started walking when you turned her around. Make her stand, or what I like to do, because I hate having them use a stand animation, you can have them pose. We ran out of time in the last video. So I took it upon myself, while the other video was sending to my computer, to go ahead and set up a scene. I didn't bother changing my character because he had black on. But I noticed that I forgot to explain how to change the clothes on a character. Well, the character here is this person. And you notice these little baskets up here. So you can remove a character by clicking the X, and you can do that with your own character as well, but there always has to be one character on the screen. They don't have to be visible, but they have to be on the screen. So, let's see, we have her right here, but we don't like what she's wearing. So, we're going to change that so it fits our scene better. You're going to click the basket, and you're going to go on into their closet. I don't really know what she owns, so I'm just going to find whatever I feel matches. A new hair on her, and we're good to go. Alright, so we have our 6 characters, and now what do we do, you ask? Well, because this is kind of a creepy scene, I would say, we want to go into the music, and we would either go to whatever you think fits your scene, you use. By the way, if you make a mistake with any scene that's after the first 5, with any frame that's after the first 5 frames, you can delete it. Like, I accidentally made her walk in frame 10. So she's going to be walking in frame 9. And you just want to go back a little bit. And you can re-add those scenes. Unfortunately, there's not an actual undo button, which there really needs to be. It would make life a lot easier. But there isn't. So if you mess up on the first 5 frames, and it's really bad, unfortunately, you're just going to have to remake the scene. So, hopefully you don't mess up. But, I mean, there's no pressure to it. You can just re-add the scene, and then go back and delete this scene. But, I mean, it would just be the first 10 seconds. To save the movie, you go up here, you can make it private, you can make it public, you can name it whatever you want. Let's make this private. Do test run. We'll go, okay, private. You'll earn a little bit of fame from there. Let's say you want to make it public. You would just publish it from here. Or you can watch it, or you can edit it, or you can, I don't know why you could report your own content, but that's there too. If you just want to edit the title and stuff, you can do that. You can also delete it from here. Let's say you don't feel like opening up the movie to delete it. You just click this. Ta-da! Now you know how to make and delete a movie, and publish it. You can do whichever you want. Have fun.